Hi everyone. Today we are going to answer the question of, can I retire at the age of 50 with a $1.5 million portfolio? Well, in this video we are going to walk through an example case study of a couple who has saved around $1.5 million with the goal of possibly retiring tomorrow at the age of 50. As we go through their financial plan, we are going to find out if they need to find additional income, reduce expenses, or if they're in a good position to retire right now. As we walk through the plan, you are going to realize how changing a couple minor things can have a big impact on their ability to retire versus not retire at the age of 50 with a $1.5 million portfolio. So stick around and let's dive into their plan. Whether you are 50 and have $1.5 million or not, keep in mind that this video is really more about the principles and the concepts of the overall plan rather than the exact numbers in the plan. So here we have Jack and Jill. As mentioned, Jack and Jill are both 50 years old. Jack and Jill have a retirement goal of retiring tomorrow at the age of 50. They plan on carrying their pre-retirement living expense into retirement, which totals $8,000 per month. For Jack and Jill, we are going to assume the annual retirement health cost of $6,000 for both Jack and Jill for a total of about $12,200. Pre-retirement, Jack was making $150,000 and Jill was making $135,000. They're both planning on collecting Social Security, and we'll run through a couple different strategies for them specifically and how taking Social Security can change their overall financial picture throughout retirement depending on when they opt to take Social Security. Outside of Social Security and their investments, Jack and Jill have no other retirement income. They do not have a pension and they are not going to rely on any other sources of income. Going to their expenses, as we mentioned, their pre-retirement living expense was $8,000 per month. Jack and Jill do not have a mortgage. If we go into their net worth, we can see here that Jack and Jill have a total net worth of $2.25 million. Of that, $75,000 is just in the bank cash. They have a $1.425 million investment portfolio. As you can see here, they have a joint taxable account with $350,000. Jack has a 401k with $600,000. Jill has a 401k with $250,000. Jill has an IRA with $100,000. And Jack has a Roth IRA with $125,000. They also have a primary residence worth $750,000, and it's important to note here that that is paid off. They do not have a mortgage. Hence, why they're trying to potentially retire early at the age of 50, given their $1.5 million in investable liquid assets here. So for the sake of this plan, Jack and Jill have a growth in income allocation, and we are assuming about an 8.8% annual rate of return. Again, please note, for the sake of this example case study, all of these numbers and names are made up for example purposes. As it relates to the withdrawal strategy, we are using a withdrawal strategy of taking from taxable accounts, then tax deferred, and then finally tax-free accounts. So now let's go into the analysis. As we can see here, we are going to reset this back to just our starting point of Jack and Jill retiring at the age of 50, again spending $8,000 in retirement, using their current allocation of 8.8%. We are right now looking at a retirement spending strategy of just inflation adjusted. That is $8,000 per year plus adding on inflation each and every year. And we're looking at this in today's dollars. Well, as we can see here, it's telling us that we have a 27% probability of success. Let's dive a little bit further so that we can visually see what this looks like. Well, according to this, we are going to run out of invested assets by the age of 70. If we look at the retirement details and go into the withdrawal rate of this plan, we can see that sure enough, we're going to have a shortage by the age of 70. Therefore, Jack and Jill need to make a couple decisions. Either one, they can opt to work more or work longer, Or two, they can figure out a way to cut expenses. Maybe it's a combination of both. Jack and Jill weren't entirely married to the idea of retiring tomorrow. They just figured, what can we do with a $1.5 million portfolio to potentially retire as early as possible? So let's adjust this by 1 year. Let's assume that Jack and Jill decide, hey, you know what? We do want to work 1 more year to the age of 51. If possible, we would like to keep our retirement monthly expenses at $8,000, but we are open to exploring other ideas if we still have a shortage in overall invested assets. If we refresh this, we can see here from the withdrawal rate of the proposed plan that yes, indeed, they still have a shortage. And overall, their withdrawal rate is extremely high throughout retirement. So let's look at a couple different things. Let's not only look at the working longer, their expenses, but let's also look at Social Security. So let's assume that Jack and Jill work to 51 and we reduce expenses really quick to $7,500 per month. As we all know, usually retirement is a time where, most everything is paid off and expenses over time gradually go down. If we look at our retirement spending, like I said, right now it's inflation adjusted. If we move that to the retirement spending smile, basically what we're saying is, hey, right out of the gate into retirement, we're going to spend quite a bit of money. It's called the go-go years. We're out having fun, hanging out with friends, going out to dinner. Maybe we're traveling more. And then we hit a certain point in retirement where we just don't spend that much money. Maybe we're inside more, maybe we eat a little bit less, and maybe we pick up hobbies that aren't as costly to our overall bottom line. And then later on in retirement, when we need more care, expenses tend to go up. So if we take a look at this, the proposed plan, we can see here that from a withdrawal rate perspective, while yes, the withdrawal rate is pretty high up until the age of 67, it then goes below 3-4% throughout retirement. Again, this is assuming a full retirement age. If we look at the comparison, we can see here that we have $1.9 million at the end of the plan. If we adjust this Social Security strategy from the full retirement age to, let's say, age 70, let's see what happens and see if it's a beneficial thing for us. Well, as you can see here, we will actually have $300,000 less. So the most optimal strategy for Jack and Jill, given the fact that they work to 51 and spend $7,500 in retirement, it makes most sense to take Social Security at their full retirement age. So now let's go into the cash flows and take a closer look at what we have going on. As we can see here, Jack and Jill did opt to work 1 more year like we talked about, so their combined salary is $285,000. That is $150,000 from Jack and $135,000 from Jill. Going back to the summary, we can see that for an extended period of time, basically from 2025 until 2040, for 15 years, there is no income inflow. Social Security hasn't kicked in yet. We opted to take Social Security at the age of 67, which is full retirement age. So for 15 years, Jack and Jill are going to have to cover these expenses with their investment portfolio. Again, we are assuming that they use their taxable account first, then their tax deferred account, and then their tax free account to cover these expenses here. Social Security then kicks in and they have about $113,000 combined from 2041 onward, again, adjusted for inflation. So going back to the analysis and looking at the probability of success, keep in mind that there are really 3 main things here that can play in to your overall plan. That is your retirement age, your retirement monthly expenses, and your Social Security strategy. As we saw, depending on when you elect to take Social Security, that can greatly affect your overall balance at the end of the plan. So looking at Jack and Jill's situation, what can we take from this? Well, as we've seen here today, these plans are fluid and unique to you and your individual goals. Sure, your plan may look much different than Jack and Jill's, but the point is to take the concepts from this example and apply them to you in your situation. Guys, my name is Zach Carruthers. I'm a financial advisor, and my goal on this channel is to empower individuals like yourself to embrace financial confidence and unlock the path to a life truly well lived. As always, my contact information is on the next screen. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this.